This is a Unit 2 test review. This video will cover number 13 and 14. The question says, identify the mistakes made while solving the given quadratic equation and explain why they are mistakes in complete sentences. Provide the correct solution with complete work shown below. Okay? So if you follow along, this is a quadratic. Here's your A, here's your B, and here is your C. And the quadratic equation formula looks like this. X is equal to negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? And then you're just going to plug it into this quadratic formula so you can find your x-intercept. So you have, first part, negative b. And if you look, this is your b. So they forgot the negative right there already. So first of all, they forgot number 1. Forgot to multiply negative times negative b. So that makes it a positive, okay? So it should have been a negative times a negative, plus or minus, okay? They also forgot the minus because there are 2 solutions. Another thing, if you look, negative b plus or minus. Now, when you square something, that means a negative times a negative. So negative 5 times a negative 5, this should make this one a positive. So they should have squared negative 5, not just 5 squared, okay? Minus 4 times 3 times negative 8. So a, 4ac. So everything's good, and then 2 times 3. Excuse me. Now, continue along. So they have a negative times a negative. That should have made it a positive. So this should have been a positive. And then you have negative 4, okay, times 3 times negative 8. Negative 4 times 3 times negative 8. Let me turn it on. Negative 4 times 3 times negative 8. That comes out, this should also be a positive 96. So, continuing on. Okay, but if they hadn't done that, then this part right here, they took a square root of 121, negative 121. So when you square root something, negative 121, this comes out to be 11i, not square root of 11i. Okay? So they're messed up right there as well. So these are things that you can see that they have messed up, and we can continue on. So here is the correct procedure. Okay? So I'm going to plug it in, if you'll look. So I have, let me do it in a different color ink. Let's do it in blue so you can see better. So x equal negative b, there's your b, plus or minus square root, okay? I like my students to put parentheses around it, negative 5 squared minus 4 times a times c, all of it over 2 times a. So please write it out first. Now here is your step. A negative times a negative is a positive 5. Okay, but you don't have to write that positive. I just want to show you that. Plus or minus. Take care of your discriminant first. Let me show you how to type into your calculator. Okay? So take parentheses, negative 5 squared. Anything squared is positive. A negative times a negative. Minus 4 times 3 times negative 8. That gives you 121. All of that divided by 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay? Now, before you start to do your factoring tree, go ahead and take a square root of that first. So square root of 121 is 11. So I'm going to show you in the side what I actually just did. So factors of 121 is 11 and 11. Do you see how you have 2 of a kind? They come back out. Okay? So I'm going to write this problem. So 5 plus or minus 11 over 6. Make sure you simplify. So the first one will be 5 plus 11 divided by 6. And your second one will be 5 minus 11 divided by 6. So you can go to your calculator, or you can do the math in your head. 5 plus 11, 5 plus 11, okay, equal, divided by 6, gives you a decimal. Hit math, math, fraction. Whoops. Let me try that again. 5 plus 11 equals, divided by 6, math, and that converts to 8 over 3. Okay, and your other one is 5 minus 11 divided by 6, and that gives you negative 1. So there is the solution to your x, and you can write it like that, and that'll be fine. Okay, so x is equal to 8 over 3 and negative 1. That's where you're going to cross your x-axis. Number 14. Alrighty. On number 14, here's your A, here's your B, and here's your C. Okay? So let's see what they have done. Negative B plus or minus 8 squared minus 4 times A times C. Now, what did they forget to do right here? They forgot to divide by 2 times your A. Okay, so they forgot that part. But they did it down here, so that's okay. I personally would like to keep it continuing, but that's just me. So let's go on. Let's double check. Okay, so you have 8 squared. Let's clear it first. 8 squared minus 4 times your A times your C. They came out to be negative 112. Alrighty, which is correct. They forgot to bring out that negative, so this right here should have been I square root of 112. Alright? Then they need to simplify. So step 1, they forgot to divide by 2a. Step 2, but they put it back in here. They forgot to simplify. Square root of 112i. Okay? And then they did simplify, so let's see if it's true. Square root of 112i, factors of 112 is 4 and 28. 4 and 7, you have 2 of a kind, so this should be 4 square root of 7i. Alright, so guess what they did? They factor out a 4, factors of 4 is 2 and 2, but they didn't factor it, simplify far enough, okay? Then what did they do right here?
Daniel Stewart, please report to your office. Daniel Stewart, please report to your office.
And then they, see how they just threw away that plus sign? Okay? They also disregard adding and made it into a multiplication. So those are something disregarded adding and made it into multiplication. Or what basically they did was they kind of add these two together and then they subtract the two together. And that is not correct, okay? These are not like terms. So that's what they did. They add negative 2 plus 4 is 2, negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. So they add it like terms. So let's do it correctly. Here we go. X equal negative 8 plus or minus square root, okay? So now you have 8 squared minus 4 times your A times your C. Now, I like my students to put parentheses around that just so they don't miss it. All of that divided by 2 times A. So, see it right there? Now I'm going to continue with the math. X is equal to negative 8 plus or minus, and this came out to be negative 112 divided by 4. You cannot simplify those just yet. Simplify your radical sign first, okay? And this part right here, we had done earlier. Square, bring out my I, so I have 112. 4 and 28. 4 and 7, okay? So I'm going to rewrite that now. and then you have x equals negative 8 plus or minus 4i square root of 7 all over 4. Now take a look. You got to look at all three numbers. There's 8, 4, and 4. What number goes into negative 8, 4, and 4? 4. So I'm going to divide every one of these by 4. Okay? So your final solution is negative 2 plus or minus I square root of 7. And you can keep it together or you can keep it separate. Cannot combine these two. They're not like terms. And there you have number 14. Good luck on your tests.